So they are curious to know not just what exists, but what are the possibilities beyond the realm of existence, right? And that is what is the OTB phase, outside the box thinking. So the first phase is unbox, second phase is OTB or outside the box thinking, and the third phase is a phase of rest. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of the Prodigy Show. I hope all of you guys are staying safe, taking care, and I hope all of your babies are enjoying their times in the world. Today I want to talk to you about a tribe known as the Baja Tribe that lives in the Southeast Asia part of the world. Now this tribe, the people in this tribe, they mainly depend on fishing as a livelihood. And they don't just fish, they actually do deep diving fishing, which is they actually go 200 feet into the ocean without any gear, without any special equipment to fish. Now, how do they do it? Let me ask you this. If you and I, if we were to go inside the ocean, submerge ourselves in water, how long do you think we would be able to survive? Not more than a few minutes, right? But this tribe, the Baja Tribe, they are actually able to stay inside the deep ocean, 200 feet deep inside, for up to 13 to 15 minutes at a time. Incredible, isn't it? How do you think they do it? They are able to do it because for them, excellence is a habit. Excellence is a habit. You know what they say, right? It takes 20 years to be an overnight success. What do we really mean by this? It means that there is nothing like an overnight success. It takes a lot of sustained hard work, effort, talent, and all of your skills, and of course a little bit of luck to become an overnight success. And that is what we are going to talk to you about today. We are going to talk to you about how excellence is a habit and how it applies to your baby. So do you think the Baja tribe members have any difficulty in going deep into the ocean up to 200 feet and staying there while they're fishing? I would think that it's actually enjoyable for them. I would think that it's actually natural for them to be able to do it. They love doing it. And the reason for that is that they have been doing it while they were very, very little. They've been developing these abilities, these skills, and they have grown up with these abilities to the point that it just comes so naturally to them, right? That is what we want for our babies as well. We want our babies to develop their abilities, to develop their skills without going through any struggle, without going through any efforts, so that when they are grown-ups, when they are adults, they don't have to struggle. They are able to achieve miraculous feats with just their natural abilities in the natural course of things, without having to be stressed out, without having to face any pressure, without having to feel like they are not able to accomplish what they set their minds to. So this is why early learning and development is so important for babies. We have said it so many times that every baby is born into this world with a deep craving to learn, to grow, to develop, because of evolutionary reasons, because of scientific reasons, right? And they have a tremendous learning capacity to be able to learn and develop fast. And once they are able to do that, once they get the opportunity to do that from their parents, as they grow older, these abilities become something that is just so easy, like it's on the back of their palms, and they are able to accomplish miraculous feats that we have not even imagined, and it just comes so naturally to them, without any stress, without any pressure. So that is what I want to start off with today. Early learning and development, super important for your baby, without any stress. We don't have to stress out ourselves, we don't have to stress them out, we don't have to stress out our babies, but for your baby, it's their deepest craving to learn, to grow, to develop, and we want to give them the opportunity to do so that they can grow up to lead a life of health, wealth, and happiness. With that thought, let us move on to our next segment, where we will answer a few questions related to this topic. So what does early learning and development in babies have anything to do with excellence? let me talk to you a little about the concept of the circle of excellence. Now, what is the circle of excellence? The concept is like this. If you have an interest in a particular activity, so suppose you are interested in, say, music, right? So if you have interest, you will practice it more, right? The more you practice, the more of an expert you will become. And the more of an expert that you become in your own field, the more fulfilled you will feel in life. The more fulfilled you feel in life, you will again have more interest in that field, right? So it's a full circle. It's a full circle from interest to practicing to expertise to fulfillment, leading back into interest. Now, how does this relate to early learning and development in babies? So what we want to say is that the more exposure, the more opportunities, the more different variety of things that we expose our babies to, the more opportunities we give our babies, right? They will pick up the things that they are interested in, right? So there might be an internal desire for them to be interested in music or in sports or in painting, the arts, drama, creativity, maths, sciences, anything, right? The more exposure we give them, they will pick up their interest. As they pick up their interest, they will want to do it more. The more that they want to do it, the more of an expert they would become, right? The more expertise that they develop, the more opportunities that they will get in school, at home, and they will generally start to feel more confident. They'll feel more happy about what they are doing because they will be able to do it well since they're already an expert, right? The more fulfilled they become, the more happy they become in doing that activity, their interest level will only rise. And that is what we mean. So it's a circle, right? So the better and the more they do it, the more frequently they do it, the more interested they become better. And it's just a continuous circle, and it just goes on day, month on month, year on year, until they become really, really good, top of the class in the area of their field of expertise. I know what you're thinking. You're already getting scared hearing words like expertise and fulfillment and practice when we are talking about little babies, right? It can be scary. We've all been there. I've been there. All of you parents have been there. And we don't want to put any stress, any pressure on our babies. We want them to have lots and lots of fun. We want them to be happy. And that's our goal, right? As we always say, babies actually have a deep craving to learn, to develop, and to be able to do things just like their mothers, just like their fathers, right? So just like how we adults are walking, running, bending, doing all of these physical activities, reading, painting, writing, babies have this deep desire to be able to do all of the same things. But as parents, we don't want to put any pressure on them either, right? So what we are trying to say here is that what we are encouraging all of you guys to do with your babies is not to put them through some rigorous schedule, rigorous training program or anything like that, but just invest in 5 minutes of daily efforts, 5 minutes of daily effort, and that itself will lead to their circle of excellence. Okay, just 5 minutes of daily effort. As Julia Carney says in her poem, Little Things, right? And let me read from her poem. It says that little drops of water, little grains of sand, make the mighty ocean and the pleasant land. So the little minutes, humble though they might be, make the mighty ages of eternity. So what she's trying to say is that all the mighty oceans, all the mighty land in this entire world are in fact made up of little drops of water and little grains of sand. And similarly, even the smallest, tiniest minutes and moments in our lives all add up to create something as mighty and as wonderful as the oceans and the lands of this planet Earth. So, what we want to do is basically invest those 5 minutes, only 5 minutes of efforts with our babies to give them what they desire the most, and that is to be able to learn, to be able to understand the world, and to be able to develop. And once you do that, you are going to spin their circle of excellence and set them on that path which will lead to a life of health, wealth, and happiness as they grow older. So now that we've talked about the circle of excellence, we've also talked about the 5 minutes a day that you need to spend with your baby, doing activities, exposing them to different opportunities for learning and development. You are probably already asking, what should you be doing, right? Let's think about this. Let's think about how any living organism, whether it's us humans or any other animal, anybody, how do we learn about this world? So when a baby is born, they're not born with the sense of any language, right? So they don't understand any language, they don't know what we are communicating, they have no idea about gestures that people use and what they mean. But every baby is gifted with the 5 senses, right? The sense of touch, the sense of vision, the sense of hearing, the sense of smell, the sense of taste. So they are gifted with those 5 senses, which helps them understand the world around them. And what we want to do is primarily to activate all of their 5 senses so that they are able to understand the world in the best manner possible and as fast as possible as well. Because that will give them the sense, the overall sense of the world around them, right? So what we say at Raising Superstars is that a baby learns in 3 phases, okay? The first phase is what we call the unbox phase. Unbox phase is where your baby learns everything about the world. So they unbox the world, so to speak, and discover everything that is inside the box. So inside the world that they have come into. What is the world made out of, and they discover it through their 5 senses. So that's the first phase, the unbox phase. The second phase is called the out of the box, OTB phase, outside the box, and that's when they start using their own creativity to understand what could be possible, right? So the box is in a certain manner, but can I disrupt it creatively to create something that it does not already exist? And this is what sparks your baby's out of the box creative thinking. You must have noticed, right? If you give your baby a new toy, what do? They smell it, they sort of shake it to hear what kind of sound it makes. They look at it, especially if it's bright and colorful. But ultimately, they also try and throw it, right? Why do they do that? They do that because they want to throw it and break it so that they can disintegrate the toy and see what exists inside of it. So they are curious to know not just what exists, but what are the possibilities beyond the realm of existence, right? And that is what is the OTB phase, outside the box thinking. So the first phase is unbox, second phase is OTB or outside the box thinking, and the third phase is a phase of rest. Rest is where your baby is sleeping, your baby is resting, just calming themselves down, preserving their energies, because that sparks of their thought processes, that sparks of all their creative ideas, and that's where they start to understand the world as they see it, as they experience it, and the world that can be possible, right? That is why if you see all young babies who come into the world, they spend so many hours just resting, just sleeping, right? Of course, they are tired from the new environment that they've come into, but they are also resting because all of the senses that they are collecting, all of the stimulus that they are collecting from the senses, they are making sense of it, and they're trying to see what are the possibilities in this wonderful world that they have got into. So those are the 3 phases of creativity. Of course, we go into much more details about this in our Prodigy Framework program. If you haven't signed up for it, make sure to check it out. The link will be below in the description of this video. Please do sign up for that course if you are interested in learning more about the Prodigy Framework. But now let's move on to our next segment, where we will talk to some of our parents and see what parenting is all about for them and see what we can learn from the journeys of our superstar parents. So guys, today we have on our show Dr. Rinku Lunia, who has very graciously accepted our invite to join us and share her feedback on how parenting works out for her, what are the things that she's been doing. So welcome Dr. Lunia to our show. Thank you so much for giving us the time, and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Raghav.
So Dr. Lunia, if I can start by asking you, as you go through your parenting journey, what are your aspirations for your baby? And if you can just give us a brief background about yourself and your baby as well. How old your baby is, and what do you dream for your baby? What are your dreams and aspirations for your baby?
All right. Hello, everybody over there. This is me, Dr. Rinku. I have a baby who's just now 8.5 months old. And I came to know about Raghav and his program when he was around 4 or 5 months. So I'm almost at the finishing stage of Raghav's program. But since the day, after first week of Raghav's program, I was totally in awe of his program, which is just superb. I have no words for it. The way it has been meticulated, the way it has been given to us for each and every kind of parent to understand, it's very simple. So yeah, that's it from my side for now.
So thank you so much for those words. And so what are the kind of things that you do with your baby? Are you able to give your baby a lot of time, or are you quite busy as a
I am
doctor?
giving maximum time. I'm giving maximum time as suggested by you, and whatever you have been suggested by you, I have inculcated that in my daily routine. So I don't feel that as an activity anymore.
Yeah.
Whether it's a wall play, I just make him stand him. He only does a wall play, and it's like made a routine. It has become a habit.
Can I ask you a little bit about your own childhood? So, when you were growing up, how was that like? What kind of memories you have? And are there any regrets, or did you have a lot of opportunities? How were your parents, whether they were supportive, or you think that they were harsh on you, tough on you? How was your childhood like?
My childhood was very open and free. I mean, there was no restriction. They used to just let us free, go wherever you want, do whatever you want. When it comes to play or study, okay, of course they used to take an interest in study, but our play part was like totally on us. So I think that atmosphere gave us the freedom to explore ourselves to the fullest, which is not possible nowadays. Nowadays, because of so many restrictions around, we have to think, okay, should we have to send there, or we have to do this or no? So that, I think that is something which leads child to some restrictions compared to what environment we has. That is one disadvantage of today's generation. But definitely people like you have designed even that for us, so that it becomes really super easy for us. We don't have to use our brains, and we just go with the flow with the whatever stuff we have it in our hand.
Sure, sure. How important do you think is the fact that you are able to connect with other parents who are going through a similar? Because parenting is really hard. I believe that parenting is very hard, and salute to all the mothers who have been able to do it. Does being a part of a community, does it help at all?
Definitely. It gives us that inner motivation. Sometimes when you're feeling so low, yeah, why to do all it? It is getting bored. Sometimes you feel bored. What we are doing same things again and again or something. But when you see some video on, some of same parents doing some other stuff, you have an idea. Okay, now we can do this also. That again gives us a booster. Okay, now so let's do this. Otherwise, at one point you feel, oh, what is this now? I don't feel like doing this. But then when you see somebody else having some other idea, that ignites your brain again. Okay, fine, let's do this. That is, and definitely parenting today has become challenging, but I feel it was more challenging before also.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah. No.
before it was not easy.
Parenting has
Nowadays we
always
have
been
so
tough,
many.
right?
Yeah, it's always been tough, but nowadays we have so many opportunities to explore. So many. Now it's in our hand how much we can give. So my motto is always to give my best version to my child. I'm not bothered about the results. It's just that what I can give to him. Results जो आना होगा वो आएगा. But yes, and let he be free.
Yeah. So what I hear you say is that you want to do the best possible that you can for your baby, and then it's your baby, it's your son's choice what he will achieve in life, right?
Yes, totally.
And you have only one baby, one kid.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to give my best version so that he can get the best version out of himself.
Sure. What are the things that he is already doing now? At 8.5 months.
He is already in MOP 2 stage 1, like cruising part, MOP 2 cruising part.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes and sometimes it is even to the extent that he wants to leave his both the hands and stand now only. I'm like, wait, it's too early, relax.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's fantastic. At 8.5 months, he's already walking. That's fantastic.
Yes, and he is continuously blabbering something or the other. Continuously, he's trying to say
Wow.
mama. He's telling mama, mama, mama.
Crazy. That's amazing. Yeah.
So I have already
Especially.
started seeing changes.
Yeah, no, especially in today's world because there is so much screen time and people are like even little kids, little babies are exposed to YouTube and videos and apps and other things. What happens is that it really constricts the development of the ability to speak. So we get a lot of parents who are at 18, 20 months and babies are not speaking at all, right? And also because you are living in small spaces, people don't have the opportunity to go out to play in the parks or walk around, and people are not moving or babies are not moving at even 13, 14 months of age, which is so
it's become very personal. It's become very personal and private. Kids are not exposed to much.
So that's really fantastic to hear that your baby is talking out loud because they have that deep craving to be able to communicate, right? And
I never knew that so deeply.
You will love it when your baby is slightly older. You will love how much they will talk and how much love your son is going to give to you. It's going to be amazing.
That is okay. Fine, let's watch the show.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Dr. Rinku, for joining us. Is there anything else, last thoughts, comments that you would like to share with us before we let you go and to your busy life?
I know. My personal recommendation to whoever is watching this video, if your child is less than 2 years, please do have a look on this program because it is just amazing. I have no words. I'm totally speechless. Raghav and Shraddha, you guys have done an awesome job. It's not just about the money or the business, that's one thing, but the difference that you are putting us in our life through these things which are so important for us, it's amazing and it's worth the price. It's totally worth the price. Even if you would have put it double, I would have paid it.
Thank you so much. No, we want to reach.
Confidence and trust. Yeah, that much confidence and trust you have given me.
Thank you so much. We are humbled to hear those words. And our goal is not to make a quick buck. Our goal is definitely to get parents to take action. Because if you don't take action, baby becomes older, then you've lost that opportunity. So thank you so much, Dr. Rinku, for joining us. I hope we get to catch up more often. And I wish you all the best, success, luck, and lots of love to your little one as well.
Thank you so much. It was all my pleasure. Thank you so much, Raghav.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. So that was Dr. Rinku Lunia joining us. And I guess she had a lot to say about our program, but that was not the intention of having the chat with her. It was more about sharing her own parenting journey and the parenting journey of her newborn son. But thank you, Dr. Rinku, for joining and sharing your valuable thoughts and giving us your time. And now let's move on to our next segment. Let's talk about some tips and tricks for your parenting journey with your little one. So the first tip of the day is let there be mess. What do we mean by this? So when your baby is playing, when your baby is doing any kind of learning activity, whether it's painting, whether it's water play, foam play, any kind of thing, right? Even if they are just playing with fruits and vegetables or some rice grains or pasta, your baby will make a mess, right? Because that's when they are trying to explore their creative side. So they are either in their unbox phase or even in their OTB phase of creativity that we've talked about earlier. And your baby is trying to explore the different things in the world through their five senses. They might throw things around, they might try to break things, they will create a mess, and we should be all okay with it because we have to remember that all of it is part of their growing up process and their learning and development process. It's actually stimulating their brains, their minds, which will help them discover and think sharply, intelligently, build on their smartness as well. Our next tip for you is that confidence is everything. Confidence is everything. What do we mean by this? So what we mean is that our babies, when they are born, they are supremely confident, right? So they think that they can do everything that an adult can. They don't know that they are a baby. They don't know that adults have all the experience, they have bigger bodies, they are more physically capable. They don't know anything like that, right? They just feel that whatever an adult can do, they can do it as well. Once they start growing older, what happens is that they are told again and again, multiple times, that they are probably not capable or do not have the ability to do some of the things that adults are doing. And this actually leads to them not even attempting to do things that they were capable of. So what we must do is we must try and build the confidence in our babies. We must encourage them. We must try and tell them to discover for themselves whether they are capable or not capable of doing something, without actually having us telling them that they are not capable. So build up their confidence, because confidence is everything, right? The third tip for you guys is stop saying no. Stop saying no. What do we mean by this? Think about it. If you and I, if we were trying to do something and if we were constantly told that no, you are not capable of doing this, or no, you cannot do this, no, you're not allowed to do this, how would we feel? So I think for most people, most adults, after 5 or 6 times that we had denied something, we would probably be sad, probably lose our confidence, probably just give up, right? Because just 5 or 6 times of hearing no is enough for our belief to be shaken and for us to not attempt something, right? But think about how it works with babies. They are constantly hearing no, 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 don't do that, no, don't touch that, no, don't go there, no, don't do that, no, don't say this, no, you can't do that, you cannot eat that, you cannot go there, it's risky, it's dangerous, etc., 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 right? They're just so used to saying no so many times. Think about what that must feel like for them. If we as adults, if we, with all of our smartness, all of our understanding, if we are able to lose our confidence in just 5 or 6 times of being denied something, think about what the barrage of denials and no's does to your baby, right? It just shatters their confidence and leads them to just stop attempting. What we must do instead is we must try and tell them what they should do instead, rather than telling them what not to do. For example, if we want our baby to not have a chocolate or not have ice cream, right? So what we can say instead is that, okay, you've had the chocolate today, how about a mango instead of a chocolate? So instead of saying no, you cannot have a chocolate, we present a better option. So the idea here is that we want to minimize the number of times we deny our babies and we say no to them as much as possible by talking about the alternate positive tone of voice. My next tip for you is to look out for the miracles. Now, what do we mean by this? So, when Prabal was born, right? So, when my own son was born, we started following the Prodigy Framework with him. We started doing a lot of things with him. And he started to be mobile at the age of about 2.5 to 3 months. I think a lot of you guys have seen his video where he is crawling at that age. And because we didn't know any better, we did not celebrate that moment as much as we should have. So what I mean to say is that it was only after several months that we found out that babies actually start to crawl only at 7.5 to 8 months of age. So my tip for the day is look out for the miracle moments. It doesn't have to be that your baby has to start doing things early or your baby is doing things better than average. Just celebrate every moment of anything that your baby is trying to show to you, present to you, whether it's talking, singing, moving, walking, identifying colors, identifying objects, reading, math, anything, right? Each of those moments are super precious. Celebrate each moment and bring that joy along with your baby in your life. And my last tip for you is build a routine. Babies love routines, right? Babies love to have a routine set for them, the time that they are having a bath, the time that they are getting dressed, the time that they are eating, the time that they are sleeping. If they have a routine in their life, they are very, very happy, they are joyful, they are not cranky, they are not irritable. They love that, right? So build a routine around your baby. If you're doing the Prodigy Framework or any of the activities that we suggest or anything, any kind of learning framework that you're following, make sure that you're trying to do it as a routine. What do we mean by that? We don't mean that everything has to be done at a particular time in the day. But by a routine, what we mean is, suppose you're doing the learning activity right after breakfast, right? So if they have their breakfast at 8:30 or 9 a.m., right after that, you go into your learning routine. Maybe they are doing it right after their dad comes back from work. So if the dad comes back at 6 p.m., right after that, you start your learning routine, right? So build a routine, because that just gives sort of a certainty and predictability in your baby's life, which they really, really enjoy, and that keeps them happy, keeps them motivated, also helps them to look forward to that particular time of the day when they are having fun and also learning in those 5 minutes that you do with your baby. So that's the end of the Prodigy Show for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed our tips and tricks and everything that we talked about, the circle of excellence, how excellence should be made into a habit, everything to do with learning and development in your baby. And don't forget to like us, subscribe to us, and please do leave us your comment if you have any questions, if you want to share something with us, and if you're interested in learning more about the Prodigy Framework, make sure to click on the link below and subscribe to one of our programs. I will see you next time. Take care.